Okay, so let's kick this thing off. I have had a couple of requests from folks who thought it might be fun to have some art chats with me, where I just talk about my experiences or my thoughts on certain subjects that affect artists. I thought I would start with a small introduction video that just tells you who I am and how I got here and what my goals are, I guess. So I'm September. I have been a professional working artist for the last 7 years. I started by dabbling in henna and having no business aspirations concerning henna, but I was really taken by the art form. I had never really spent any amount of time delving into it. And the first 3 days that I sat with it, I did a lot of research and did a lot of digging into the history behind henna, into the cultures and religions that utilize it, into the ceremonial processes that involve it, into the many beautification practices and skin safety techniques concerning henna. It's been used for healing purposes. It lit me on fire in a way that nothing really had in a while. I grew up being artistic. I used to do music. I was a professional musician here in my city for about a decade before I switched to art. And now I think in color and texture instead of music. So I art full time. And it started with henna, and it started small with a few friends. I just wanted to practice. And the more I did it, the more I learned about it, and the more I realized that people in my area didn't know much about it. So it gave me a lot of opportunities to educate unintentionally at hippie festivals and music shows where I did henna, and everybody who sat down would get an earful about where henna comes from and what it is, and the history behind it, and how I have learned to do it. So that led a lot of places that got me into some teaching gigs within my city and several smaller cities around my city. Quite a lot of teaching jobs actually concerning that and other art practices. But I didn't get into the other art, the painting of the mandalas or other things, even the costuming. I kind of had put everything on the shelf for a bit. After growing up artistic, I never really developed my skills, and I never really honed them or tried to become really good at any of them. I just kind of had a basic artist skill set. I kind of knew how to throw some paint around a canvas, but I was nothing spectacular, and I was admittedly very unskilled and very underdeveloped because I just didn't think I had to try. People already called me an artist. So the journey through henna opened up a beautiful community worldwide that I was connected with, who encouraged each other, who inspired each other, who constantly came up with new designs and shared designs from their own cultures and their own histories and their own cities. And it was just a beautiful fusion of all these different elements, and reminded me what I love about art and how so many different elements and styles and line work and coloration and texture come together. And I don't know, it just lit me on fire. And I moved from henna into using paint in the cones and painting glassware and painting canvases and painting lots of random stuff as well. I did some costuming because that's where my degree is actually in apparel design. And I worked in that briefly before the last recession back in 2005, 2006. So I moved from fashion into music because music was another job. And then I moved into art. And then eventually I was able to leave all my other jobs because I was doing so many art shows and so many teaching gigs. And I had people asking for commission work and costume work. And I was doing seasonal festivals. So I was even getting a chance to put together whole collections and themed shows. So that's where a lot of what you see in my work now came from. I've done the Day of the Dead festival, some punk rock festivals and flea markets, and that's given me a little bit of an edge here and there with bugs and skulls coming into my softer florals, harsher colors coming into my softer pastels. there's a whole lot of fusion of elements of the different places where I've done art. And currently I actually work in an oddity shop, and there are a bunch of skulls and bugs. So I'm back into pulling those elements into my paintings again. I also am kind of a pop culture nerd a little bit. I think that's pretty everyone kind of is these days. But that got me into some cons, and I really enjoyed fan art. So I started doing fandom mandalas by request at first because people had some ideas about what I could do. And then I brought my own ideas to the table and started doing whole themed tribute collections. And I still do those as well. They are just not as publicized because that is work that is inspired from other people's work. And that's not something I want to put all over my branding everywhere I go. But I do want people to know that I do paint those things because that opens up some different doors than painting bugs and skulls does. So I have a lot of variety in my art. I still do henna, not very much these days because of current conditions, but I will get back to that again one day when it is safe for everyone and when I can do it responsibly and safely in a way that I'm sure that we're good. So for now, I'm focusing on other things. I am working on a coloring book coloring book collection actually, because I don't know how to stop working sometimes. But I also have developed into stickers and prints because of the oddity shop that I work in. I do commission paintings normally because of current conditions. I have had a harder time creating on command, so I've shelved commissions quite a bit more than usual in an effort to just not strain my brain too much. And I know that if I paint collections from my own head, people will still like them, people will still buy them. So not having the parameters of somebody else's expectations has been helpful for my creative development. But at the moment, I am really just working on developing this channel and bringing some of my knowledgeability to it because I think it can help some people. It's not going to help everyone. Some people might think I'm a moron. That's fine. That's probably true on some level. I can, again, only speak to my own experiences, my own business, my own niche, my own collection, my own community. So, yeah, that's what I thought I would come here and do with you guys, and maybe find some people to connect with or some people to help. This should be an ongoing growth in this channel, I'm hoping. Like, you tell me what you want to see or hear, and I will see if I can put that together for you. I like to teach. I'm not teaching as much because of everything being shut down. So I am always looking for some outlets where I can, help. If I can help someone, that's great. That's a good day right there. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's who I am. That's why I'm here. And yeah, thanks for listening. Come back again, please. Okay, bye.